I said, God, just give me the brush and help me figure out the rest. But I never stopped painting, and I never stopped designing. So I think from that moment on, I was like, girl, nothing is off limits.
Yeah.
Nothing is beyond God's ability to manifest in me. That's one of my favorite mantras. And when you start thinking about, I would one day want to work with this person, like, why are you saying one day?
Let's do it.
Just shoot your shot. Okay.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Felicity, and we're doing something new. Welcome to the Plugged In Podcast, powered by the Plug Me app, coming to you very soon. And we have a special guest today. So can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
So I'm Melissa A. Mitchell. I'm the founder and CEO of Abeille Creations, and I like to say I like to bring people to where the art is, and then bring the art to where the people are. So basically, I have created a custom design house of artwork. When I started selling art, nobody was buying it. Right. So I had the genius pivot idea to start wearing my artwork. And so I became a wearable art dynasty. You see me in the street, I'm always in my stuff. And so I am now a walking billboard for Abeille Creations. And when God gave me that idea, I knew that not just I was becoming an artist, but it was becoming my purpose. And so I'm excited to be an artist, but also to be an ambassador for optimism.
So I'm no stranger to Melissa, and I love everything that you do, you stand for, and I love your art and creations, right? So let's dive a little bit more into that pivot, right? So you talked about switching from like physical art to really like this whole lifestyle, really with the walking billboard. So what inspired that change? And then like, how did you come up with that innovation?
I think when you get an idea, you feel like some people are very narrow-minded when it comes to the idea. Like, I'm supposed to be a singer. But they don't understand that they have to learn how to play an instrument. They may have to write the music. They may be a background singer. And for me as an artist, I said, God, just give me the brush and help me figure out the rest. And because I wasn't classically trained to be an artist, I wasn't really worried about how it was going to happen. I just knew that it would. And so when I began to open my mind to the possibilities of how the art would flourish, that's when ideas started to come. And so I naturally paint on the floor. I began painting in 2014 during a snowstorm, and it was just for fun, right? So my dad passed away 2010, and I was like, what's my why? Why am I going to be remembered? What's going to be my legacy? And I remember walking in the garage across some old paint and wood. I was like, "Ooh, this would be cute to do, LOL during social media." And I started putting it on social, and people were like, "Girl, I buy that." I was like, "You buying this for $20?" I said, "Wait a minute, this is like car bill money. This is light bill money." And so I said, "Wow, this isn't just a way to pass time. This can become a viable career."
Right.
And so the $20 wasn't enough no more, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so people didn't really buy my stuff the way that I wanted them to. But at the same time, I had cut my hair off. And I was like, I can't keep going to these shows with just a T-shirt wrapped on my head. I said, I wonder if I could merge.
That's how that came about.
I wonder if I could merge my head wrap love with my art love. And then I found a company that could put my artwork on fabric. And I started wearing head wraps. And in that same year, it was 2016, 2017, I said, I made a dream list of people I wanted to wear my head wraps.
Right.
And that's when Black Panther was coming out. And I said, I want Lupita to wear my head wraps one day. So I just wrote it down on my dream board. I wrote it on my mirror, and I put it in a book, and I closed it. Yeah. And I said, why am I closing this book? Let me get to action. And so, Instagram was lightly popping 2017. So I DM'd her stylist. I said, hey, you don't know me, but I have these really amazing wearable art headpieces. I would love to send some to Lupita. He DMs me back. I said, oh my God. I said, is this really so-and-so? He's like, yes, it is. And so I shipped head wraps to London.
Yes.
And then I don't hear nothing else from him. I said, they stole my head wraps.
It happens sometimes.
And it got really quiet. And then it was July of 2017. My girlfriend's like, girl, get on Vogue. Lupita got on your head wrap. I was like, no, she does not.
Whoa.
Lupita has my head wrap on as one of her favorite things she's traveled with for the past few months. And it was my head wrap that I sent to her on face.
So now it's not even just design.
And so I think from that moment, I realized that no prayer was too big. No person was too big. No opportunity was too big. And that really just made me dream bigger. Yes. And that's when I started wearing, I said, well, I'm going to start wearing my art for real. I'm wearing hair wraps every time I get a chance.
And she will.
People are like, well, is your hair done? I have a whole head full of hair. But I would put on a head wrap knowing that it becomes a walking billboard and a talking point to people. And so I think from that moment on, I was like, girl, nothing is off limits.
Yeah.
Nothing is beyond God's ability to manifest in me. That's one of my favorite mantras. And when you start thinking about, I would one day want to work with this person, like, why are you saying one day?
Let's do it.
Just shoot your shot. And I've been shooting my shot for almost 10 years now. And it's been a very...
that's a campaign. We're going to come back to that.
Oh, yeah.
That's
so
cute.
Next year is 11. It's my favorite number. So 11 years on February 11th. And so just knowing that God has given me this one gift and it's kept me this far, I'm like, what would happen if I really throw my whole body into it? Like,
and you are.
If I really, really try to do more. And so that's how we got on this couch. Just really believing God and supporting people along the way.
Yeah.
And I'm just grateful that this gift has found me. And then now I'm pulling people along the way on this journey.
Oh, God. I love you. I love your energy, like from the moment speaking amongst the panel. Like, like I said, I sit on panels all the time.
Yeah.
It's sometimes a lot of just hoopla.
Yeah.
But as you spoke, I'm like, oh, she's real.
This is my girl. This is my new friend. This is my new friend.
We're going to meet. And I said at that moment, we're going to do stuff together. And when we get back to Atlanta.
And a promise is a promise. It hasn't even been a month.
Okay. No.
She's like, hey, I was like, girl, you said eventually. I said, you want to do something now? Like right before New Year's?
Right now. Yeah, we got to go to New Year's big and better. But a lot of the times, connections like that don't really happen, right? You know, the industry sometimes can be cutthroat. You have your good people and you have some not so much, right? So when going into like this innovative idea, right? And really talking about how you had the passion for it. And with passion, eventually comes profit, right? But you said it wasn't as lucrative as much. What were some of those like sad moments or like barriers that you had to like go through to be able to continue to just pursue your dream despite all the negative that was going on?
I mean, 2024 has been the year of figure it out, girl.
I love that.
Girl, just figure it out. And the top of the year started with, I had this amazing opportunity with a retail partner. They were like, oh, we want you to, branch into this new area of business. Yeah. Go ahead and develop your stuff. I'm calling China. I'm getting samples made. I'm like, okay, this is it. This is my 7-8 figure year. Boom. Yeah. I was like, why didn't they email me back? This January, I'm like, okay, maybe they tired.Maybe it's the new year. I'm going to give it to February.
Right.
Nobody's responding. I said, hey, I'm just going to have to call somebody's boss.
Yeah.
And so I reached out, and she says, it was taking us a lot to come to this decision, but we're not going to move forward with your collection.
Right.
And I'm like, y'all, I got all these samples in this house. What am I supposed to do?
I've been working on this. Yeah.
All these designs are just laying stagnant. And so as soon as I started to cry, other opportunities showed up. And I was like, no, God, you said retail. Yeah. You said this is my year. But I never stopped painting and I never stopped designing. And so fast forward to around August, a girlfriend of mine gave my name to Sheen for an opportunity. And she was like, well, just send them a bunch of stuff, whatever you got laying around. Because I had, when they say fast fashion, if they email you on Monday, they want their designs by Tuesday morning. But because I was already prepared,
it wasn't a problem.
With hundreds of designs, I was able to submit. And they loved 2. I was like, okay, 2 is cool, whatever. Those 2 pieces did so well. They said, well, we have another program coming up, but we're going to need 50 pieces.
Okay.
And I didn't even blink.
And my girl's in Shein.
So I submitted 100 plus designs. They accepted 50 for this first round. In the first week, I made the amount that I was going to end up selling at the beginning of the year in a week.
Look at you.
So what looked like a devastating blow to my business and to my self-esteem and to my momentum, it turned out to be the most powerful pivot that I experienced in my career.
I love that.
So it went from, you get to do 13 or so pieces to now 50 plus, and they asked for a third collection that I turned in last week. And so what looked like me trying to go find a regular job, trying to figure it out, I said, well, God, you promised that you would give me all these places of abundance. You promised.
Time, not yours.
And so I was listening to a sermon this morning that talked about God is not on our time.
At all.
It feels really like it's a lot of pressure because the bills are on our time. But when he gives you what he promised, it will make up for every no, for everything that you thought would devastate you. God makes up for it in the end.
I love that for you. I really do. Like, I haven't been a part of all of the journey, but I love where you are now, and I'm here till the end.
Yeah,
you need
we locked in.
Call me. I'm here. Right. Yeah. So with the Plug Me app, which I spent 3 years really developing, and now we're here. Right. This app is about to go out. The podcast is powered by the app, so we can get it out in the right hands. It took a lot of different connections. It took a lot of people, right? So, but one of the main things that we really are trying to pour in and focus on people, right? A lot of people can't hire a publicist. They can't hire a marketing agency. I want to make it where this app does that, right? So sometimes connections, strategic partnerships can alleviate capital for small businesses who don't have it, right? So in this moment, I want you to just think about maybe a connection or a person, a partnership that happened for you, and give that person their flowers.
Oh, wow. So I mentioned my girlfriend who actually, she put herself in a line. Her name is Kenyon Freeman. And she was with Sheen, right, for a couple of years. And she didn't have to put my name in a hat. She did not have to do that for me. And just even thinking about what this Shein partnership has done for my self-esteem, for my business, for my accountability, for just showing up for me. I just dealt with like a crazy breakup. Like it wasn't really a breakup. It was a dismantling of what I thought the future should look like.
Got you.
And I think God wanted my attention so much that he needed my plate completely clean.
Season of isolation.
And really being isolated. And I felt like when I came out of my colorful cave, I was armed with so much. And my friend was right there with me. And she was like, you will be fine. Yeah. She said, but you got to stay working because what you have, the world needs to see. Mm-hmm. And it went from me having a couple of stores in the US to being on a global stage. When I look at the orders from Japan, from the Netherlands, these places I would never probably visit. Right. And my friend thought it not robbery to share that moment of elevation with me and give my name to this team. And now my collection is doing numbers that I would have never imagined. I'm just grateful that people are allowing me to share the spotlight with me and then allow me to bring my people with me. So even for my campaign, I brought all my regular photographers with me. Yes. I brought my homegirl with me to make sure my one piece of hair. And so now they are nationally and globally published. Right. So when you do get that opportunity from a friend, don't sit on that and be like, girl, I made it. You need to be reaching back. I think about Harriet Tubman all the time. When she found freedom, she didn't just go set up and go sit by the water and put her feet in the water. She said, let me figure out the steps that I did. I'm going to take those steps back. So I say I'm the colorful Harriet Tubman.
Oh, I love that. Okay, first of all, we got like 6 trademarks on one podcast.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. We got to come back.
Yeah, colorful cave.
Colorful cave. Yeah. What was the Harriet Tubman? What?
I'm the colorful Harriet Tubman.
It's trademark right now because we're speaking on it. We're going to get the paperwork done too.
Yeah, okay? But you think about when God opens these doors. Yeah. A reason a door has a handle because it's supposed to have a hinge. My door doesn't have a lock on it, has a hinge, so it opens, right? And so I don't close my door, I keep it open. And so I think about when God places somebody on my heart, I'm like, I gotta make sure I plug Felicity. Yeah. I gotta plug Kenya. I need to plug Ryan. I need to plug Monique. Even my sister's my publicist. Yeah. She's like, well, I don't do this. I said, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, okay.
And so because I put that belief and faith in her 5-10 years ago, now she's at the top agency.
Yes.
And now we are on the top publications. Now we have interviews and podcasts over the world. But because I believed in her, she believed in me. And now we have a family. A business. We have a family business now, family legacy. So even losing my dad in 2010, we put our sorrow and made it our profitable ministry, right? And so I think that many times people get pushed into that colorful cave. They get pushed into that corner and they feel like this is it. Even as we're sitting across from MARTA, I have the largest mural by a Black woman in transit.
Yes, I saw that.
That was released 2 weeks ago. And even when I was looking at my pictures outside, I said, that happened 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Like the devil wants you to forget what God did. Yeah. And so what for the next 2 days, I'm just going to sit in my camera roll and sit in my journal and say, if you did it this year, I can't even imagine what you're going to do next year. Yeah. And I think that's what we have to force ourselves to do at the end of the year.
I love that. Okay, New Year's, new mantras, new words, new visions. I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do. So yes. How can people find you, connect with you, shop your pieces? Tell them where they can get it right now.
Well, it's very easy. I'm very easy to be Googled. I'm Melissa A. Mitchell, and my website is melissaAmitchell.com, and my Instagram is ABL Creations, and that's ABEILLE Creations, and you can always just find me somewhere. You see colors, think about me. Yes. But also find me on the Plugged In app soon.
Have her soon, yes.
But yeah, I'm just grateful. And we talked about my last closing remark is don't forget to fall in love with believing.
I love that.
And that is my mantra for 25. And just fall in love with the process. Like stop worrying about the destination and enjoy the journey. When you slow down and look at every step that you took, you'll realize that God was with you the whole time.
I love that. Give me a hug.
You're welcome, boo.
Cheers to 2025.
We ready.
Cheers more, and thank you for coming.
Of course. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you. Yes. I said, God, just give me the brush and help me figure out the rest. But I never stopped painting, and I never stopped designing. So I think from that moment on, I was like, girl, nothing is off limits.
Yeah.
Nothing is beyond God's ability to manifest for me. That's one of my favorite mantras. And when you start thinking about, I would one day want to work with this person, like, why are you saying one day?
Let's do it.
Just shoot your shot.